Ahoy foodie travelers, we travel to eat. I'm Drew,
And I'm Jason.
and we love going to different hotels, different ports of call, different travel destinations, and we try to give you guys a good idea of what you should and shouldn't bother spending your money on. Ahoy foodies, I'm Drew, and I travel to eat. In this episode, our first epi, I'll tell you the story of our food fiasco at the Hampton Inn Brickell, Port of Miami, on our way to our cruise on Allure of the Seas. We had driven down the coast the night before our cruise. I always try to do that to make sure I can get on the ship for the first day lunch. And we were pretty worn out. I checked with the hotel to make sure they had room service because I figured we'd eat, catch the news, and get to bed. Alas, I was thwarted. At first, as we checked in, I was very pleased. The parking was easy. The young man at the front desk was polite and helpful and gave us Lorna Doone cookies. I love them. They are shortbread cookies, and that's my favorite. And we also got plantain chips. I was very grateful. We were told about a nice hot breakfast we'd be able to enjoy in the morning first thing. We went up to our room and looked for the room service menu. What we found, though, was an ordering system called Sauce, in which you could get food from nearby local places by delivery. This was not Grubhub or DoorDash. It was a sort of hotel proprietary pretend room service. I've seen this before and it didn't bode well. But I was so hungry I was willing to set aside my skepticism and give it a try. After 2 seconds of deliberation, Jason and I decided on pizza. Now you might think it was a boring choice. Pizza, why pizza? Everybody can have pizza all the time. But that's not true for us. Why not get Cuban food or seafood? We're in Miami. But we currently live in the middle of nowhere. Our pizza is either from the grocery store or what I can make at home. And though my pizza is pretty darn good, if I say so myself, it's not wood-fired pizza from an Italian-owned pizzeria. So that's what we ordered. The description of the restaurant was just that. And they had some interesting toppings too, such as arugula and prosciutto. It seemed just the right thing. The clock ticked on and my stomach growled fiercely. Half hour, then an hour. It was now after 9, and according to the app, the restaurant closes at 10. I got worried. I was really hungry. I was really distressed that we weren't going to get our pizza at all. Finally, we were notified that the pizza had been delivered. Jason went to fetch it from the front desk on the 6th floor, but when he got there, they told him they had gotten no delivery for us. They said to him to check the first floor, that it might have been left down there, which of course was not supposed to happen. When he got to the first floor, there was a large sign that read, "Do not leave deliveries." No pizza for Jason. Lots of other deliveries for other lucky diners, but none for us. He went back up to the front desk, where the woman tried to help by calling the restaurant. The restaurant said they'd check on it and let us know, so Jason came back upstairs to give me the bad news. You can imagine, I wasn't thrilled. After another 20 minutes, he contacted Sauce again, who put him through to the restaurant. They said they were sending a new pizza. He went down to wait forever. But no pizza. He called the restaurant manager directly and insisted to get our money back. "You didn't make it, right?" Jason said. But then the manager said it would get there soon, and Jason said, "You're across the street. I see the restaurant. You're not sending it. Cancel the order." Then Jason told the manager that he was pretty bummed out because his partner, that would be me, was going to do a review of Allure of the Seas, and this was going to be the port hotel ahead of time. So the manager got himself pretty nervous. Anyway, at this point, we decided to order from a different place, and we waited and waited. A half hour went by. Again, I was not thrilled. 30 minutes later, no pizza. The restaurant sent a picture. Jason insisted it was not the right place. They said they'd go get it and bring it to us. After some more discussion, Sauce said they were sending a new pizza. This is getting insane. By now, I'm feeling really desperate. So Jason, being the kind-hearted partner that he is, suggested he could get something from the front desk because I was really desperate and anything would do at this point, I thought. He went downstairs again and sent me pictures of a bunch of convenience store snacks and a freezer full of TV dinners. They were too gross. I snapped, "Just bring up anything." I couldn't even think about it. So, Jason showed up with 2 bags of potato chips. Now, I'm not the most impatient person in the whole world, but by this time I was so desperate for reasonable food that my fight or flight responses had set in. I threw the bag of chips across the room. Jason insists I threw it at him, but that is not true. And unfortunately, I chastise him for his bad choices. Suddenly, the first pizza place sent us a message that the pizza was there at the hotel. Now it's past 11, so we know they had stayed late to make it. Jason, the hero of this story, went downstairs yet again. He came back up with not just the arugula and prosciutto pizza, but cheesy bread, too.
I think they gave us an order of bread.
Did you order that?
No, not that I know of, but whatever. I mean, it's obviously a lot.
By now, my hunger had turned to exhaustion, and on top of that, they had given us a full refund. I usually adore a free meal. So though you'd think I would be thrilled at this, I was numb to it all. Just as I opened the first box, we got a message from the second pizza place. Our order had actually finally arrived. Poor Jason. He dutifully went downstairs one more time and came up with the third pizza box. I had really already started in on pizza number 1 by the time he got back to the room, and it was evident we could not possibly consume all that pizza. Ahoy Foodies! If you love this channel, even if you just like this channel, if you found anything about the channel at all that was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell so you get notified every time a new one comes out. Thanks a lot. To be fair to all the extra effort the pizza places put into getting us our order, I will give them both a short review. The first place we ordered from, Piacere, offered really tasty wood-fired pizza. The crust was charred just the right amount, and the dough was chewy and full of yeasty flavor. The arugula was fresh and plentiful with a nice tang. The one mild disappointment was the prosciutto, which was your typical grocery store stuff, not the rich, fatty, salty, melt-in-your-mouth from Italy ham I wanted. But the cheesy bread was elevated from your typical chain pizza place, too. The second pizza from Piola was not quite as good as Piacere, but better than my homemade version. I can't be quite fair, though, because I'd already stuffed myself on cheesy bread and pizza number 1. Well, friends, we finally did eat some, and we went to bed around midnight. The next day, I absolutely needed my coffee after the fiasco of the night before, and poor Jason was also looking pretty rough as we went downstairs to the complimentary breakfast.
Orange juice.
You said it tasted like sugar water. Do you really want that?
I want orange flavored sugar water.
When I got downstairs, the area was pretty crowded, but it seemed fine because there were several people working hard to keep the area clean and well-stocked, so kudos to them. The buffet was exactly what I'd expect in the U.S. for a mid-level free hotel breakfast. Make your own waffles, toast and bagels, hot and cold cereal, pastries, muffins, hot plate eggs from a bottle, sausage, bacon, breakfast potatoes, juices, and milks. You definitely wouldn't go hungry, but I can't recommend the food. The only thing that actually looked appetizing was the waffles, and I'm never inclined to stand at the waffle maker in the middle of a busy hotel buffet to cook them. Fortunately, there was a nice woman who let me catch a little film of hers. At the end, I really enjoyed the coffee, which was rich, dark, and especially hot, and I appreciated the actual half and half to put in it. I can't stand the creamer that you often get when they try to be cheap about it and give you cremora or whatever it's called. The addition of latte and cappuccino machine would have been a little better, more welcome, but I was grateful the simple American coffee was drinkable.
Well, I see them changing out the coffee and the hot water quite frequently to make sure it stays hot. And for those of us who really need our coffee hot and our hot water hot for our tea, that's a good thing. Generally speaking, the customer service is really good. There were some downfalls with the pizza fiasco last night, but it's still all in all not bad. It's pretty comfortable. There's some things I'd change. Maybe I'd stay here. Maybe I won't. I'll have to think it through.
After breakfast, we gathered up our bedraggled selves, headed off to the cruise port, which was about a 15-mile drive away. Now, I'll rate the hotel, the room service, and the breakfast. So I do a rating system, and I like to call it shiny pennies. We're all concerned about getting good value from our travel experience, and we all usually balance how we spend those hard-earned pennies, whatever stage we are in life. 5 pennies means the value is top notch, but 1 penny means you should put that money back in your pocket. So, for a non-luxury mid-range hotel in Miami, I will rate Hampton Inn Brickell, Miami on location, service, facilities, and obviously most importantly, food. Then we will rate the overall experience. First, the Hampton Inn is within easy driving distance to the Port of Miami, making it a common night before the cruise type of hotel. For location, I'm going to give the Hampton Inn Brickell, I'd say a 4. It's really pretty good location. It's not perfect. It's not exactly right close to wherever you're going, but it's a pretty good place. Second, the facilities were extensive for a mid-range hotel. And though we didn't use them because we got in late and wanted to get to the cruise ship early, if I were staying there to enjoy an extra day in Miami, I'd appreciate that they include the usual internet, hairdryer, coffee maker, but only that inedible powder of that horrible creamer in the room, microwave, refrigerator, fitness center, pool, and business services. The hotel also prides itself on things like antibacterial phones and being in green compliance, which I appreciate and I think is really good. And for a simple get you there mid-level hotel, I rate the facilities 4 shiny pennies. Third, the service at the front desk for greeting and helpfulness was polite, helpful, and pleasant. I wouldn't say they bent over backwards, but they made an acceptable effort from start to finish. The breakfast workers were keeping everything well stocked and clean, and the coffee was hot. Overall, for service, they earned 4 out of 5 shiny pennies. Most importantly, though, for the food. The negatives are, first, the sleight of hand over the idea they advertised room service when it was actually an outside delivery service. The second negative was that the food on the breakfast buffet was not at all tasty. I'm not a big fan of processed snacks either. But for positives, the front desk area offered us nice little snacks and water on arrival, including Lorna Doone Scotch bread cookies, yum, and plantain chips, which are appropriate for Florida. The hotel has a full-on convenience store with junk food for sale, including frozen, but for me, revolting, frozen options, and there is a lobby bar. The pizzas we ordered did eventually arrive, and the coffee was good. Even though the breakfast buffet left much to be desired for quality, the quantity was generous for this level of hotel. I think kids would be very happy with the choices at least. I saw lots of empty plates and second trips to the buffet by my fellow travelers. So all in all, I rate the food 2 shiny pennies. I can't go higher than that because is there anything at that hotel that I would say, go eat that? No. So when I rate the overall experience, I'm thinking about my experiences of this kind of hotel in this particular location for this money. I think there were some definite positives, and so it's possible I'd stay there again if I need to get in the night before traveling out from Miami. I know, though, to be ready to eat supper away from the hotel first, because otherwise I might have to wait until breakfast, and I'd probably be pretty hungry by then. And I'd know that my breakfast was going to be sort of limited, mostly to coffee and maybe some hot porridge, fruit, and bacon. But that's just me. So overall, I'm giving the Hampton Inn Brickell, Miami a solid overall experience, 3 shiny pennies. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll be bringing you a review of kind of this divey Florida fish shacky type place. It's a really cool little place near Port Canaveral. It's got a great backstory, and it does carry authentic Florida fare. Bye for now.